Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37. It is the 15th day of September, and we're in this together, folks. Thank you for being there with us, and we're happy to be here with you this important Monday morning in your nation's capital. Coming up at 8:05, David Bozell will talk about what he and the team at Media Research Center have witnessed over the course of the last several days following Charlie Kirk's assassination. And then at 8:35, Adam Guillette, Accuracy in Media, where they are single-handedly tracking all of the public officials and professionals and college professors who are openly celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. And, Adam has an idea of what should happen with people like that, people who are part of the death cult of the left. That's all coming up. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Joining us right now is radio talk show host and former NYPD homicide detective, our friend of the program, Rob O'Donnell. Morning, Rob. How are you?
Morning, Larry. Julie, how are you guys?
Not bad. We just had Joe DeGeneva on, and he said that from what he witnessed, the investigation of this assassination and the tracking of the suspect was pretty impressive. I'm a layman. It looks to me like they started with nothing except a blurry security camera, and within 36 to 48 hours, they had a suspect in custody with a lot of people cooperating. From your trained eye, what are you seeing?
Well, we kind of knew from the start when we found out the type of caliber that was used here, and we found out that the person was of college age. I said right from the start, as soon as we found out about this, that growing up in Utah, any youth probably grew up around hunting, was very familiar with that type of caliber weapon. A 30-06 for someone who's trained or someone who is looking just to do this is very odd caliber. So, I assume some sort of hunting background. And most of our campuses today have a wide net of security cameras, be it some bad footage as it is, but I think they had a lot more than we were led to believe at first too. But just the amount of cameras they had shows you that they were able to track him. And then as soon as they found a picture of who they thought it was, the person of interest, they were able to backtrack to have him coming onto campus and then leaving campus, seeing a way of exit. And this is the way they were able to find the firearm that was left in the woods. So, an extraordinary amount of hours in there to track that back and forth. Now, what needs to be looked at, not only here, but for all our school campuses, be it college or prior to that, was there someone real-time monitoring these cameras in a control room somewhere? Was there not an alarm system on that roof door that went in there? Was there not an audible alarm that would go off like most of us would see when we went to school, where you push a door open and a loud alarm sounds? Would that have been enough for this person to be scared away from entering that roof? If it was real-time monitored by a security person at that college, at that campus, at any campus, and someone opens a door that they're not supposed to open, like a roof access door, especially during an event like this, does a screen pop up with a red alert saying, hey, we have an alarm, and you're able to talk to someone just like you do on our Ring doorbell cam saying, hey, what are you doing? The police are on their way. Would that have been enough to scare him away? So I think we really need to reevaluate and schools around the nation.
Rob, I'm detecting a pattern here. Roofs seem to be a problem. Okay, so this is obviously in Butler it was a roof, and now this one. I don't understand why can't drones be used? Why can't they check roofs when there's a major speaker on campus? And obviously, some universities might be thrilled that this is going to scare away certain speakers and not want to do this, but they should, and they should be forced to do it. But why is this slipping through the cracks with security? Why are they not checking the roofs before a major speaker comes?
They should be. There's no excuse for it, especially this day and age, especially on campuses where our children are, be it a college, higher learning campus or a small K-12 school campus. Listen, I've been doing this for 3 decades now. I'm operational certified in risk, vulnerability, and threat assessment by the Department of Homeland Security. I write up emergency action plans. listen, we all talk about safety, and safety is our primary concern, but it's usually the first thing to be cut when there's a budget issue. And it's people just don't throw money at it because you still have the mentality. Well, we've never had that problem. When you tell a campus, hey, we want to spend $3 million to upgrade your security system to a state-of-the-art system, hire someone to monitor it 24/7 so we have these extra layers. Well, we've never had a problem like that here before. Well, we've had the problem now. So it's time that people start making this a priority. You know, this day and age, we're still fighting for school resource officers in some schools. And it comes down to the bottom line is money, and, they'd rather spend it on other things.
Yeah.
Rob, what's next now with this investigation? People think as soon as they have the suspect in custody that it's over. The whole new round of evidence gathering begins, and interrogations, questioning, the lawyers get involved. What do you expect will happen?
This is not going to be an easy case. It's going to come down to forensics. It's going to come back to tangible evidence that they could come back to. Thankfully, the roommate and some family members are cooperating in this case, which hopefully that continues. That's huge at this point. So hopefully that continues. But now it goes back to can a defense attorney try and poke holes in how they got this far and from this point forward? So that's why these things take time. They're meticulous. You cannot rush a homicide investigation. You have to dot every I and cross every T, because you don't want to give, especially in a case like this with we all knew Charlie. We spoke at events with Charlie. This is just taking a nationwide inward turn for us. If this individual ends up getting off on a technicality or because something wasn't done right, that outrage is going to just be tenfolded. So now is the time is to point to details and base everything on the evidence that they have.
Well said, sir. And how you doing? How's your family doing? You all right? Your kids are okay?
All right. Yeah. This was I just spoke at the state capitol. I was asked to do the opening Senate on September 10th for the prayer in recognition of September 11th. Got back to my studio and then got the news of this and saw the video 5 minutes before I was supposed to go on the air.
Rob.
And it was with my background as a homicide detective, seeing the video that I saw that we've all probably seen at this point, and that hopefully is not really out there much more. It was hard because I know the reality of what a wound like that does, and trying to make sense of it and trying to grasp, especially on the eve of September 11th, which you guys know I was a responder for. It's just this nation needs to find a way. And I know you guys talk about, I talk about it on my show all the time, about being involved with your kid's life. Here's a 22-year-old young man, conservative family, a good family. They gave statements to law enforcement that they were sitting around a dinner table a couple of days prior and having those conversations. We talk about, have as many meals with your kids as families as you can. Talk to your kids. Here they were doing that and did not know. He said he proposes dislike for Charlie Kirk, but never made any outward threats, never said he wanted him dead or anything like that.
Of course not,
So, where do we go from here? Where do we move forward from here? And, I think our nation has a lot of inward looking to do.
Well said, sir. That's why you're a radio talk show host, and a damn good one at that, up in central Pennsylvania. Thank you, brother. Always good to hear your voice.
Thank you, guys.
Never tell he was from New York, right? It's that southern lilt. South Bronx, that is. 7:45.